It's on.
I hope so.
I'm gonna check.
Hey everybody. What does that mean?
What happened?
Good. Look, here we go.
Oh.
We're here. Hi everybody. We don't know who's joining us yet, but I see I have one viewer, which I think is us.
Probably my phone.
Welcome. We're just going to hang around for a minute while people start showing up. If anybody wants to come and join us, now's your time. Oh, look, we've got 9 viewers. All
Karen
right.
Davis, Dave Postal. I'm going to turn
Mike's got to turn off the audio.
Sandra.
Hi, Sandra.
Megan. Dave Postal. Happy birthday, Boxing Day today.
Birthday, Boxing Day.
Yesterday was the great 65th birthday.
Yes. We might have to close that window.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Hi, everybody. We're just going to give it another minute, and I'm going to open this up so we can see what some comments
Dawn
are.
Marcia and Joanne McEwen. Hi, Auntie Joe.
All right. Now, I wish... Oh, you've got them open there with the comments?
Yeah, well, I've got it here, too.
This is our first time doing this, so
Thanks
have
for your
fun
grace.
Watching us figure this out.
There's also a delay between us doing this live right now and then it actually showing up on your computer screen. So we're watching ourselves here in a delayed format as well. So that's one of the new things to get used to. So when you do have comments or questions, we may be a little late to actually see them, acknowledge them, etc.
We think there's about a maybe 30-second delay, so we'll test that out.
Karen Bidell, hello.
Hi, Karen.
I had a nice phone call with Karen yesterday.
Wow, we've got 20 people so far. Awesome. Why don't we get started?
Okay.
Welcome to Live with Laur. Just whipped up a quick jingle there for our event. So, we're so glad to see you guys, to join with you on here tonight, to get to know you a little bit. As you guys know, we are the new pastors at Comox Pentecostal Church, and we are, since it's COVID and we can't really get together all that much because of that, we thought this would be a great way for you guys to get to know us, for us to get to know you, and so we...
How do we get to know them this way?
Well, okay. You're just going
It's
to be
her show.
listening
I'm sorry,
about
I'm
us.
taking
Yeah.
over. It's her show.
Excuse us while we figure out the host and guest dynamics. And
Sorry.
so the why. Why are we doing this? It's COVID. We can't meet as much face-to-face. We thought we would do it this way. So here's what we're going to do tonight. And for the next 3 weeks, you are going to have the opportunity to ask us some questions in the comment section. We will also mostly just share our stories. We'll do some rapid fire questions. We'll kind of make it fun. But mostly it's to get to know us as people and personal stuff.
Thank you,
Mike,
Melissa.
somebody likes your sweatshirt?
Yeah.
Nice. That was one of the first things we did, was we all drove to
Port Alberni, Cloud City.
Cloud
Probably
City
one of
Apparel,
our sponsors.
and bought everybody a sweatshirt that says Islander, or an article of clothing, which is kind of fun. So we're going to start with some questions tonight. My special guest is Pastor Mike Bidell. Welcome, and we are happy you are here.
Thank you. It's an honor to be with you tonight.
Okay, so we are going to start with some rapid fire questions for our guest, Pastor Mike Bidell. Let's begin.
Pray for me.
If you could buy any type of food right now, what would you buy?
Oh, I just had dinner. Fizzy water.
If you could be any animal, what would it be and why?
Ooh.
Oh, don't worry about the why. Just what would it be?
So much pressure here. You know, I would want to be a salmon. I love them so much, but maybe if I could. What are they called? Roosevelt elk, and live on Vancouver Island.
Okay. What is your favorite summer activity?
Fishing, swimming, being in the sun. Sun.
Okay. Morning or night person?
Fishing. Both. more of a, what do you say? I go to bed earlier than Laura.
Yeah, you're a morning person. Describe yourself in 3 words.
I am nice. Hi, Chris Geitenbeek.
I am funny.
That's you.
Yeah, okay.
And that's next week. So
Right.
quick cutting in.
I'm
Chris,
my own guest next week.
I'll be here to witness it. Chris, great to see you are there. Hope your leg's doing all right. We've been
Yes.
thinking about you this week.
Yes, we hope you're recovering well. What's your favorite joke?
Pass.
Aw, you can do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Where would you go if you were invisible?
Can
Probably
you breathe
to
under?
a field with Roosevelt elk.
Can you breathe underwater when you're invisible?
This is rapid fire.
Yeah, I would go into a river to see where the fish are.
I'm not going to ask that one. What is the thing you're most afraid of?
Ugh. Seriously, or just okay? Like I don't like snakes.
That's really true. He
It's true.
doesn't.
I'm afraid of other things more, like
Mm-hmm.
sadness of if I died and well, no, I guess I'd be happy about that. If you died, that'd be bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to tell them though, because I'm reading the questions.
Sorry.
Oh. Okay. What was your favorite pet's name growing up? You had pets.
Holly, a Doberman Pinscher, awesome dog.
Tell us a little bit about Holly. Tell us about Christmas time with Holly.
Okay, so Holly, Dobermans are obedient. They're smart, very smart dogs. And if you look at studies about different types of dogs and their temperaments, Dobermans are one of the varieties that are up there in terms of being very sensitive. And so that means they have a sense of guilt. So one time we came home and she had like broken into the pantry and eaten some stuff. And you could see it on her face. She was guilty. Now, she was a downstairs dog, but every Christmas we would invite her upstairs to the Christmas tree with the family. That's my phone.
I know, I'm watching questions.
Well, I can see it there too. I kind of want to see too. And she would be so excited to come up to the Christmas tree and be with the family. And she'd be with us, and then we'd carry on opening presents and all that kind of stuff. And then she would disappear because she felt guilty. She knew she wasn't allowed upstairs. So, Bill Crowder.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee. Tea is one of the biggest disappointments in the world. It smells pretty good. I'd rather just drink plain hot water than have tea.
Sweet or salty, Mike?
Oh, salty.
Tell us about dinner time and dessert.
If you have to eat dessert, have it first so that you can end on a nice salty note or a nice savory note from your meal. It's so hard for me to go from dinner into dessert. I will from time to time, and if you invite us over sometime, I'll have dessert at the end, perhaps. But yeah.
What would your top 3 favorite desserts be?
Oh, I like a good cheesecake with a nice homemade crust.
With a little
crust.
salted caramel on there?
No caramel at all.
Ever?
Other desserts, I like a nice apple pie that has soft apples, not crispy apples, not crunchy.
Skin?
So,
Peel?
that could be good for you. And but soft apples, and then you know what you do is you have a slice of cheddar cheese with that.
Yeah, that's
and
really
like
good.
my grandma Roller said, apple pie without cheese is like a hug without a squeeze. Or maybe she even said a kiss without a squeeze. I'm coming in.
Michael, you're not supposed to kiss the host.
Oh, okay.
We might have other guests coming on in the next couple weeks.
Well, they will not be doing that.
Okay. All right. Let's, before we move on to kind of your story, I have one more question about, for kind of fun facts here. So, what is your current favorite song and who is it by?
Oh, okay. I feel like this is a setup.
You're not going to believe this.
Well, some of you will believe this and be very thankful to hear this. I happened accidentally upon, going back a few months ago now, Guy Penrod, who is one of the Gaither team members. You know, he's the one with the flowing silver hair and the beard. And I'm sure many of the elder women at the concerts might stumble a little bit because
You're a
he's a
little
very
flushed.
he's a nice looking man, and so I just found he's got some great songs. Victory in Jesus, the live version is great. I don't know why people aren't standing up and worshiping and weeping as they are during that song. It's so good. Bit of a stubborn crowd, I think. But the studio version is almost better, and I rarely say that about songs. So the studio one of Victory in Jesus, Guy Penrod, he has this like call that he does during worship.
It's become our family call to each
Yeah, if
other
we're
now when
lost
we're.
and trying to find each other in a store. Um, nobody can. I don't think we should be
LOL,
doing that.
Guy Penrod says, May Lordy, hi.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Hello.
You know Guy Penrod. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I don't think we're a church necessarily in our services, so
Right,
this isn't
right.
like do that. But in my own personal worship times, in the quiet place, it doesn't always get so quiet because I give a few of those to the Lord, maybe.
Sneaky trick, little hack here. Mike cleans very well in the kitchen to Victory in Jesus. So when we get that song going, everybody is hooting and hollering, and the kitchen is cleaned, rapid fire style, with the whole team involved. Pastor Dave Postal says Sedin or Peterson.
Where are we? Oh, well, Pedersen, let's live in the present and think about the future. Love the Sedines. They set a foundation for what we can look forward to and be happy about right now. Thank you, Henrik and Daniel. But Elias, we are yours and you are ours.
That's nice. Joanne McEwen says it almost sounds like a moose call. So
No, that's well, I don't even want to try. Okay, this
Try
isn't
it.
no.
moose call.
Next week, Laura will give us a moose call.
Okay, well, okay, we'll see. Okay, well, this brings us to our next segment. Next week, just so you know, I will be my own guest. Maybe I'll even hand over the host chair to Mike here, and he will be able to interview me. You can get to know me a little bit, but right now we're going to just let Mike share a little bit of his story and life growing up, fun little factoids, and...
Does Joanne McEwen love me, or does she love Guy Penrod? I think it's Guy Penrod. I know she loves me like a brother in Christ. And maybe she feels the same way about Guy. That's great.
I love him.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's great.
That's great.
We'll
Okay.
have a little Guy session sometime. Guy Penrod session.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, story?
Yeah. Tell us about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your family. Do you have children? Are you married?
Yeah. Happily.
A little bit about your upbringing.
Sure. Yeah, okay. Well, I was born way back in the 1980. And
1980.
yeah, and I think I mentioned this past Sunday that I was made in Sweden, but born in Canada. You can ask my parents about how that happened.
Excuse me.
And I've got a sister. We had a dog named Holly. Grew up in the Lower Mainland. Very thankful for my upbringing. Awesome parents. They gave me a tremendous foundation in faith and just a healthy home environment. I'm so grateful for them. When you start having kids of your own, you start realizing how much sacrifice your parents made for you, don't you? And so my parents live in Clearwater now, not the Florida one, but just outside of Kamloops, about an hour and a half out of Kamloops. They've got some land there, and it's fun to visit when we get the opportunity. Of course, I know everybody watching with me would love for my parents to come visit this way, wouldn't we? So you can say in the comments, like, please visit Bonnie and Eric. Please come to Comox. We'd love to have you come here.
Karen Davis is ribbing you that, 1980s, so long ago.
Yeah. Oh, another good question there. Fly fishing or spin casting? Fly fishing. Yes. Great question. Thank you. I'm one of maybe a few people that did all the school systems. I did homeschool. I did Christian school. I did public school. And
Did you do online school?
well, there was no online back in the 80s. Well, it was very premature, I think. There might have been a notion called online, but it was hardly a thing. So no online. Graduated high school, wanted to be a chef, and I thought I'll do 1 year of Bible college, and then I'm going to go to culinary school, maybe have a restaurant one day or whatever. And I went to Bible college in Calgary and had the time of my life, goofed off, lived in dorms, all
Right.
good, clean fun, just stupid stuff, not sinful, just stupid. And I didn't focus as much on my education as I maybe intended to, but I made some great friends for life out of that experience. And, the funny thing was, I came out of that and I thought, I think I would actually like to be in Bible college a little longer, but I shouldn't stay here because I won't get as much done. And so I switched schools and gave good focus and attention from year 2 onward and really loved it. And so then, the fast version from that point on is was involved in serving at Christian Life Assembly in Langley just as a volunteer. I actually worked there on security staff. And then I moved into the youth department. I was hired as one of the youth pastors there. Laur and I got married. We served there from 2003 to 2008, and then in 2008 we moved to Comox. And then since then we've been in Victoria and Langley again, and now back here. I do have one wife, the right one, the perfect one, this lady right here. And maybe we'll tell our love story one day on one of these. Could be next week or the week after, or something like that. If you're curious.
It's quite wonderful.
And we have 4 children. I think most of you know that. They're all wonderful. And we're thrilled. So that's
Awesome.
it in a nutshell. I could say a lot more, but only if there's questions, I guess.
We do have a question. Do you like ABBA?
Sure. They're okay for kitchen cleaning as well. I haven't listened to them in the longest time. Or a road trip. It's not a great devotional set, but you can find God in that too, I'm sure. Who needs ABBA when you have this? Oh, yeah.
I love ABBA.
Yeah.
But I'm not, this isn't about me tonight, so. Tell us something. I heard a story about one of your kids last week at school, and your grade 6 child, there was an issue, and something you're really proud of.
Yes. And I might appreciate if I was reminded even some of the finer details of the story, and then I'll laud upon the memory.
Yeah, I was actually talking to your son this week and got the story.
Chris Geitenbeek, pray for me. Yes.
No. Please also pray for me.
There's a lot of love here.
There's so much love.
Love makes babies.
And when we tell you our story in a couple weeks, our family story, maybe our love story, maybe we'll tell you about the delightful story of how we came to have 4 children.
Sure, yeah.
So,
yeah.
I just want
the PG version.
Well, yes, of course. We are pastors. This is the internet. You have to be careful.
Yeah, yeah.
I would love to share something about our son Jackson, and just because I'm super proud. And
I know the story, but Laura was told it firsthand by Jackson, and I've talked with him about it too. I'm proud of him.
I think that when our kids do awesome things, we need to tell them that they're awesome, and then tell people about it, because we can learn a lot from our children. So, Christy Dick says, I think we know how you got children.
Yeah.
Kirsty. So Jackson this week, grade 6, he's in a new school, new town, as you guys know, and he came home today and
Today?
Last week, wasn't today. And told me a story about how he was in class, and he's in a split class, and one of the older students was bullying one of the younger kids. And Jack stood in the gap. He stood between, and he told this bully to stop it. And when the little boy who was being bullied started crying, because obviously it was scary, the other student started going at it again, really trying to push, and Jack stood up again and said, I told you to stop. You need to stop this now. And then some other kids stepped in and helped and diffused the situation. And later on, Jackson approached the little boy and had made him a bookmark, and out of like an origami bookmark, he folded it and then went to the boy and said, hey, don't listen to what that person said. They weren't being kind, and that's not who you are, and encouraged him. So yay. And that is Christ-like justice.
Yeah.
Standing up for
very proud of him.
For the victims and standing in the gap.
That's not easy to do.
No.
It takes guts. It takes spirit power. Yeah. Proud of him.
So anyways, that was a little break from our sponsor, Jackson Bidell. But now we are actually going to have just a quick little break and
Laura
a
wanted
message
me to do this.
From our sponsors.
Here's the message from the sponsors.
All right, we're back. And we have some more questions. I saw them, and then
I saw one question earlier about other job experience outside. I worked in Calgary as I worked at Wendy's restaurant for about 6 months while I was at school for 8 months. I just did a short stint there, made $5.55 an hour, and that was kind of wild. And then I worked my way through school, like college and stuff like that, the rest of the years, and actually started in high school at a nursery, at a rose growing operation. There was acres and acres of rose growth under glass, and so I worked with flowers. I love flowers. I'm not much of a gardener, but I do enjoy still picking flowers, making arrangements and stuff.
Tell us about Casual Fridays.
Work?
Yeah, at the greenhouse.
Okay, so I worked at a nursery in Langley called Apco Nurseries. Great staff, and you just got to do some stuff to help. I worked there for 7 years, and so there can be a certain level of it being mundane, and so you have to add some life to it. And so if you can imagine, there's just acres and acres of rose bushes, and they're all full of thorns, and you're constantly reaching into the bushes with a clipper to cut. And you might think you can just wear long sleeves all the time to protect your arms from the thorns. However, you're under glass, so in the summer, it's like working under a magnifying glass. It's like 40 degrees sometimes, and the humidity goes up to 100%. So it's just so hot. And I just after years, I got used to just reaching my arm in, and it would get cut up and stuff. I could hold roses and bunches of them without gloves and stuff. But the trick that we all did was we'd buy like old suit shirts, button-up suit shirts. What kind of fabric is that? Cotton, really thin, and that way you've got a bit of protection, and you're not going to get too hot. So I would go to Value Village or a thrift store and just stock up on these old dress shirts. And one time when I was at a thrift store, I found like a really ugly old tie, and I thought, oh, yeah, I could wear a tie at work. And then I found a vest, and so it became a bit of a thing. I wore, and I bought some nice dress pants at Value Village as well, and I would wear a tie and sometimes a vest every day of the week to work, and I was just goofing off, but my coworkers, I don't know, they probably thought that I was outdoing them. Maybe I curried some favor with the bosses, I'm not sure. Anyways,
climbing the greenhouse ladder.
The corporate ladder in the greenhouse world. Anyway, they would mock me for it, and we had fun about it. And then one Friday I came in and I wasn't in my tie, so they really gave me a hard time. They said, "Why are you doing this?" I said, "Well, it's Casual Friday. What do you guys do on Fridays?" So anyways, yeah, every Friday I would have a Casual Friday.
In a greenhouse with no dress code.
Fun.
Mike Bidell had Casual Friday.
That was good.
This is why I love this guy. Okay, we have a couple more questions that have rolled in. Myers-Briggs. Do you know your Myers-Briggs?
I don't.
I
no,
don't.
I'm sorry. I work with a tool called Berkman, and so I really enjoy using that. Some of you might be familiar with that, and it's actually something I'd love. There's a cost to it just for the tool itself, but it's incredibly in-depth, super helpful for individuals, couples, teams, staff groups, and so I've been trained as a consultant with that tool, and we'll be using it. In fact, there's been some people in the church already who said hey, could you help somebody in our family and work on this with them? And so I'm so glad to do that. Again, like we can't do it for free, just we have to pay for the tool. But anyway, yeah, I can tell you about my Berkman sometime if that's of interest to anybody. But I
Cool.
can tell you about Laura's too.
Sandra asks, what do you like most about the Comox Valley?
Oh my goodness, I love it all. I love the scenery. I love the community. I love the sense people have time, a bit more time for things, for conversations, and
Island culture is real.
it is real. The pace,
We
the
love it.
people, nature around here is stunning. I have been able to, on a day off, usually get out and fish once a week, which has not been a part of my world for a very, very long time. And that's very life-giving and replenishing. It's good for my soul. I pray. I feel like I'm with God very naturally and easily when I'm fishing. So it's good. It's good for me. Anyways, I could go on and on. Love it. Love it. Love being here.
Awesome. What is your favorite road trip as a family?
Where was it? Yeah. Well, my grandparents used to live and pastor in Vernon, BC for maybe the time that I was, say, 10 to 17 years old or so, or no, maybe even later than that, 18, 19, almost a decade of my life. And when you're between like 9 and 19, that's some pretty exciting growing up years. And visiting Grandma and Grandpa in Vernon was awesome. So they had 4 real seasons there, which was nice as opposed to what you experience in the Lower Mainland. And our family road trips there were fun. Enjoyed it.
Cool. We are going to open it up to a few more questions on our comment section. So think of them, start sending them along. And while you are sending any questions you may have, Mike, I want you to tell us one story from Bible school in Calgary. One of those stories that you said, no crime, nothing illegal, but tell us one of the good ones. I know you've got some good ones.
Okay. So the first one that comes to mind, there's others, and maybe I shouldn't share those here, but we had 4 roommates living in the same dorm, and we all had loving parents that sent each of us with a full complement of dishes. And so we show up and we've just got dishes and dishes and dishes and dishes. So we jam our cupboards full of all of our dishes. Like all our moms wanted to make sure that we had enough dishes for ourselves and if we had roommates. So we just all had way too much. And we decided that the best system we would do is that we would just go on a 4-day rotation. So every 4 days you got a dish day and you just did everybody's dishes. And then you got several days off, which was nice. And then it was your day, and so that was a bit of a rough day. And the only catch was if you missed your day, the next person didn't have to do their dishes until you had done yours. And so I missed my day one day, and so the dishes piled up, and I thought, well, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. And tomorrow rolled around, classes happened, all that stuff, and then now it's like twice as much dishes left to be cleaned, and I didn't really want to do it then. I probably had a shift at Wendy's, came back late, and I thought, forget about it. Anyways, long story short, there was also I was on a basketball team, and we had a road trip, so I was gone for several days, came back, and it was full. Now at this point, it's like, well, I don't want to do the dishes. I'm now totally avoiding it. And so a whole month passed, and we actually didn't have any dishes left. And so what we would do is we would send 2 guys to other dorms, and one would create a distraction in like the living room, a commotion or something like that. So all the guys would go out and what's going on? And then the other guy from our room would go into their kitchen, take their dishes that we needed that day, bring it back to our room. We would use them, and then we'd go back and create another commotion.
Another diversion.
And then we'd go back and put the dirty dishes back in their sink and take off. And so that worked for a while. Until my roommates finally had enough of it. And so I came home, so I had a shift I think it was Friday night to Saturday or Saturday to Sunday. Anyways, my shift was over at 3:30 in the morning, and I'd have to walk back to dorms. So I'd get to bed like 4:30 in the morning, and I got back to my room, and my mattress just was this huge heap, and I was like, what in the world? And so I turned the light on, and they had taken all the dirty dishes and put them under my mattress. And I was so exhausted and tired. I pulled my mattress off my bed and just slept on the floor. And then the next day, forgive me, I wouldn't do this ever again. I don't condone this, but I put I put all the dishes in the bath and turned the shower on and got in with them and just showered all the dishes clean. Because I was like, this is not sink worthy. This is happening in a different way. And so it got done.
He's never done it since.
Well, I actually did it a second time with them. I did,
what?
yeah. I went like 2 or 3 weeks a second time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Okay, well, since I have known Mike Bidell, he's never washed dishes in a bathtub. Thankfully, yeah, okay, good. Wow, that's a great story. Bible school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Kirsty asks, what do you guys like to do for a date night?
Oh, we love being with each other and chatting and eating. And
Eating.
yeah, I feel like I'm a bit of a foodie. I'm not a pro or anything like that, but I love trying different things here or there. And so, various places where we've lived, it's been fun for us to like hop to a few different places in an evening and like have appetizers at one place. For me, I might want to start with dessert at one place
Right.
and then go to another
Yes.
place and have a dinner course. And
Which I don't mind.
yeah, so we've enjoyed that kind of stuff.
We went for a really nice walk here. That's something that is so lovely to do because there's just ocean and mountains everywhere.
Yeah. So being together, we'll watch some. I mean, it's not dates, but like we'll watch shows and stuff together here and there. Yeah.
It's hard for us to find a show that we both love.
Yeah, there's a few that we both enjoy together, and then there's some that I don't know why Laura watches them. Please pray. I'm kidding. Right?
Like Survivor.
Oh.
I love it, and I'm sad.
Who needs that kind of drama in your life?
To watch another season.
Yeah.
And when COVID is over, I will watch with you if you watch it. And we shall have Survivor parties, and it will be fun. And Mike will not be there. Okay, Mike, if you had free time and you could not go fishing, what would you do?
I like grocery shopping.
That's true.
Yeah, so a good day off for me if I can go to 2 or 3 or 4 grocery stores or farm places where we can get fresh produce. I really enjoy that. And then if it's an awesome day off, you get to cook a really nice lunch and a really nice dinner. But just cooking one meal, that's a nice thing. Other hobbies and interests. I feel like there's a major one I'm not thinking of right now. It'll probably come to me later, and then I'll mention it.
Essentially, fishing or cooking and grocery shopping.
I took a sabbatical earlier this year. I turned 40 this year, so I thought it was a good time in life to take a sabbatical. And what?
Marcia says she'll give you her shopping list, and you can.
Okay. And anyways, I found Laura's the one in our relationship with all the tools. Like I like being in the kitchen, and Laura likes being in the garage. And she's got fancy tools, and I like decent stuff to use in the kitchen. And anyways, over my sabbatical, I found myself puttering around in the garage, and I would have to like contact Laura. She was working obviously during my sabbatical, and so I would contact her during the day, bug her while she was at work, and be like, how do I like sand this thing, or how do I turn this machine on so I can cut this? And I ended up I built some things. I built a nice box out of wood. I made a gift for my dad, and I set it in a box case.
It's a nice box.
And I bought some antique axes from Sweden, some heads axes, and had some custom work done on handles, and did some work of that, some of that work myself. I also restored another axe that my dad actually gave me the head, and so I restored it and painted things up and made it pretty nice. So I got a lot to learn about that, but I did learn I like puttering around on a few different things. If I can make it beautiful, that's interesting to me.
So, function or aesthetic? Function or beautiful? Tell us about beauty.
Yeah, okay, so this is a fun conversation for Laura and I. I sort of think that there's a continuum of things where there's function on one side and beauty on the other. And some people are very oriented towards just as long as it works, it's fine. And other people are maybe like, well, as long as it's beautiful, I don't care if it works. I don't think either extremes are good. But I would lean much more on the side of, well, is it beautiful? And one of the reasons I would say that is because it's a kingdom virtue and value. I don't see God creating things that are purely functional and utilitarian. He created our world in wonder and beauty. I was on a walk with Lucy today, and we stopped and looked at several plants. Some of them remarkable. You wonder, have I seen this before? And you look at its design, and God put a lot of beauty and thought into that, and there's something that we can appreciate. And so beauty helps us worship. Now, I know for other people, function helps with worship. If something doesn't work,
yes,
it's a hard part of life. And so they don't maybe care as much about how beautiful it might be, but is it working? And so, anyways, that's where I am on it. I think we strike a pretty good balance between the two of us.
And I'm learning to appreciate.
Oh, Laura loves beauty. I mean, she married me. I think she actually married me for function.
The fairest of them all.
Well, anyway.
Yes, sweetie. Oh, he is wonderful. There's an appreciation for both. And how do you find the middle?
Yeah. You can't obsess about either. And I think it's important to learn from and hear from other people who maybe are on a different side of that continuum than the other. But yeah.
I don't know, you might be interested to know, Mike, that we have a survivor party that has already kicked off here. We have Adrienne, Kirsty, and myself all ready to watch Survivor together.
A whole lot of you can go watch that somewhere else. And Joanne McEwen and I will have a prayer meeting. We will touch the heart of God.
Wow. That is wonderful. Do you journal?
Yeah. It's not always been a good discipline it's not always been easy for me to do. It's one of those things where, was that a question somebody asked, or was that yours?
Bill Crowder asked, do you journal?
Yeah, I've sort of had seasons of it on and off, and more recently, like through my sabbatical, I journaled regularly, and it was a very good experience for me. And it was funny because I would journal just once a week and set aside a good chunk of time, and then it was on Wednesdays, and I remember I'd wake up and get going with my day and think about a bunch of stuff I wanted to do, and then my reminder would go off on my phone, journal, and I'd be like, oh shoot, I have to journal. I don't want to. And then I would be like, no, but I'm committed to journaling today. It's part of my sabbatical plan. I'm going to do it. And I'll be like, almost every week I'd think, I bet I could bang it out in like 10 minutes and I can just carry on with my day. And then I'd sit down outside somewhere nice and start typing. And then like an hour and a half later, I'm like wiping away tears and closing the computer because I've had another beautiful time reflecting and writing. And it's a new way for me to feel connected with God. It's another way to feel connected with God. So anyways, coming out of my sabbatical, I have a coach who, like a leadership coach, who helps me with a lot of things. And he said, Mike, what have you picked up during your sabbatical that needs to be part of your life moving forward? And I thought, you know what, I need to continue in the discipline of journaling. So I do that weekly again. And yeah.
Cool. We do have a great question from Marilyn. But before that, I want to ask you, introvert or extrovert?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, introvert, capital I, capital all the letters.
All caps.
I love people. But yeah, I recharge by being on my own, by myself, in reflection and quiet, or just with a small group. Part of my job in my world is big groups, although during a pandemic that's very different. But yeah, there's many environments where I'm energized with team and with large groups. But if I'm in that environment a lot, then I need to make sure I find times by myself to recharge. Good question.
Cool. Marilyn asks, earlier on, before kids, what were some of your favorite activities together, and perhaps dream activities someday when they are all grown up?
Well, Laura and I love traveling.
We do.
I love road trips. I love flying places. And we had we honeymooned after our wedding, which was awesome. Went to Mexico. It was a blessing. Somebody gave it to us as a gift. And then through our first year of marriage, we saved up. Didn't have kids, so it was a little easier to do back then. and we decided to backpack in Europe after around our year anniversary. And so we backpacked through, I think, 7 countries, sort of the northern parts of Europe, and loved it. Just had a great time. And somewhere around our return, it was kind of like, well, okay, I think we start having kids now, and see you in 25 years, and we'll go back to Europe and do the Mediterranean part of Europe. And so that's the dream, would be to travel and get to see the Mediterranean, do a cruise, or I'd love to go through the Holy Land and all of that as well. So travel is great. We that's another thing we do on dates, is just go for drives.
Yeah, we love that. Mike and I have very similar energy levels, which if you are dating or engaged, there are some very important things to make sure that you are close or close enough to.
And if you're not, just make sure you have an understanding.
You have a good understanding, that's right. And one of the things that Mike and I are fairly evenly matched on is our energy levels. So nice thing about that is, you can have 2 people who are like go, go, go and love activities and can't sit still because they just love doing stuff. And Mike and I are not those people.
Yeah, I mean, if we go, we feel blessed. We've been able to go to Mexico a few times, and we're quite good at just hanging out at the beach. And we don't need a lot of doing excursions and marching around. Like when we went to Europe, we knew this is not the kind of hang out at a beach and do nothing. We went and checked things out, went to castles and hiked around places, loved it. But
we got lost.
Oh.
Very lost. Where was that?
Neuschwanstein
Castle in Germany. The Disneyland, the one that it's modeled after. We took a wrong turn and it was a fork in the road, and
I got sick.
That's a good story. Mike got so sick, and we were staying in this hostel, and he was fevering really bad throughout the night. And the people who ran the home, they spoke only German and could say just a few words in English. But the gentleman there could only, his only experience with the English language was in Australia. So he was a German fellow with, his English words had a bit of a
German-Australian accent. And he drank a lot, so there was a real slur in it all, too.
And the little lady, what would he say? Do you remember? No. But his little wife, she was so sweet.
She knew I was sick.
She knew that Mike was sick, and all she could say was, "Alles gut? Alles okay?" And so she would come around and say, "Alles gut? Alles okay?"
And it was not.
It was not.
I was in rough shape, but we made it.
We made it.
That was a good trip.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got on that.
Travel.
Brenda and Mitch Moncrief say, "Love it." I wonder what that was too.
I think about Joanne's prayer meeting with you.
Oh, good. You guys
Survivor.
are invited too.
Or maybe it was about Survivor.
Oh.
You
could clarify if you like, but.
Okay, well, we could continue with more questions, or we could ask you for a little snippet, a sneak peek, a teaser for this coming Sunday. Continuing on our series of
Our Vision
is Always Jesus.
I'm enjoying this so far. I feel like it's a good discipline for me as well, to remind my soul to set the Lord always before me. And I hope that you're including that thought in your week as well. There's so many things that press into our minds and view, isn't there? And it's a discipline, I think, to remember, no, the Lord is in front of me. I want to see the Lord, not just this difficult circumstance or situation. I need to set the Lord before me. So last week was Jesus Ophthalmologist. This week, I think, is going to be called Jesus Maitre d'. So you can ponder what that might mean or be about. And I had told those of you who were in the gathering or watched online, so this is just a repeat on the hook, I guess. But, if you've ever wondered, would Jesus give out Halloween candy? We might, find an answer to that in this message. If you've wondered, what about, those teenagers that come to trick or treat and you're like, oh my goodness, you're way too old. What are you doing here? And then some of them are just not wearing an appropriate costume at all, and so it can be like, how can I ever, you just whatever. Would Jesus give them candy? Is another question. So, hopefully there's some light shed on that for us.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you have? Do you want to go the continue for the next
This
45
is
minutes? Or
45 minutes.
I'm sorry, 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's a 1-hour show.
Okay, all right.
You're the producer.
No,
It's your
that's
show.
cool. This is our first time. We're feeling this out.
We told people
I feel
7
like
to 8.
we've learned a lot,
Okay.
and so I just wanted to throw that out there. But we could do another rapid fire, and
yeah, sure.
and then I'd love for you to close with an encouraging scripture, perhaps.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do rapid fire, and then if there are a few more questions out there, send them our way, and we can scroll through a few more of those, and then we'll be wrapped up by 8 for sure, if not sooner.
Okay. Speaking of Halloween, what has been your favorite Halloween costume?
That I've had?
Yeah.
Well, actually, when we were in Comox here,
Oh yeah.
I was Nacho Libre.
I wonder if I could find a picture.
Oh. And we actually had the Nacho Libre mask, the luchador mask from Mexico, because
Yeah.
we had been there
That's right.
and bought it. And we got a cape and stretchy pants. And it was a very cold Halloween, but I went out with that and Jackson and Lyndon, and it didn't last long. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an excellent costume. You know, Comox. When we lived here, Shauna Jenkins. I don't know if some of you remember Shauna, Al and Shauna. We were pretty crafty together, and Castina Pennington.
Yeah.
And so that was. I had a sewing machine, and we would sew. And so I made Mike this amazing Nacho Libre costume. Would you wear it again? I guess is the next question.
I don't know if I might be past the stretchy pants. I wear stretchy pants under my waders when I'm fishing, but I don't know if it's for public consumption on Halloween.
Tell us about nicknames.
Well,
do you have any nicknames? Do you have any for me?
Yeah, do you want me to get into that?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Tell them about all of my nicknames from Mike.
I gotta get my phone. I didn't think I'm much of a nickname person. Our kids have some. Each of them have their own little nicknames and stuff. I wasn't raised in a real nickname family. But through the years, Laura has just... these beautiful names have grown on her.
Not grown on me. What? No.
Well, okay, wrong phrase. They have... there's been an advent of wonder and beauty in names. Just like the Lord Jesus, if you look at the names for the Lord in Scripture, there's lots. The names, the Jewish names of God, Hebrew names of God, there's so many. So for somebody this wonderful, there's lots of names as well. It's dynamic. So after a few years, I just started writing them down to keep up. And the funny thing is, like, I'll stay on one or a stream of one for...
Yeah, with variations.
Sometimes for a couple of years or so, and then all of a sudden the Lord grants a new name. And we go with that for a while, and then it evolves. So, do you want the list?
I mean, if the people want it. It is good.
Okay,
And
so...
I get offended sometimes at some of them, but not offensive. But
Well, then I don't have to do this if it's going to be offensive.
no,
You're the one
I
that seems
asked.
to be right.
You should
Okay.
read them. You should read this list.
It seems like she wants me to do this.
You should hear the list of
Okay.
Mike's nicknames for me.
Nicknames for Laura Bidell. Pony, Pone, Panella, Nella. You see how they can evolve? Lussie, Lus, Lusbar, Lusbar Maneuver, Lusbar Furtado, Furtads, Lustbuster, Bus Luster, Bus. Luster Bjorn Delobus, Delobus, Lobi, Lorimar, Mar, Mardell, Mardi, Marmismos Mar, Beef, Lusbarn, Barn, Barnivore, Noble, Nobes, Barnacle, Lus Bjarniclus, that's Scandinavian, Knuckle. And then we also have grandparent names we're working on for when we're grandparents, so that's also on the list, but that's beyond.
So hearing that list tells you my nicknames, but also tells you a lot about Mike Bidell in his creativity and humor. So, morning, noon, or night? That was already a question asked, sorry. How do you like your steak cooked?
Medium rare.
What's your favorite place to watch TV? That's a dumb question. What do you eat for breakfast? What's one of your favorite breakfast foods?
Pineapple.
Yes. Tell them about the hash that you make, the breakfast,
It's like
a poutine, breakfast poutine.
yeah,
breakfast
sure.
poutine.
it's not good. It's like it's a guilty pleasure kind of breakfast, so once in a while. But if you get some hash, like fry up some potatoes, there's a really great way you can double deep fry some russet potatoes. Boy, I don't have all the ingredients off the top of my head, but there's just a
Tomatoes.
bunch of vegetables, and then you put in some farmer sausage, and then you put eggs with the runny yolks on it. What are those called? Over easy. And then I've got a pea shoot aioli I make, and so that's great on it. And then vinegar and ketchup and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
It's very good. What is your dream car?
Okay, well, there's a few. A Delica, the van, you know, those vans that have come from Japan. You can drive them into the bush, you can sleep in them, you can, all that kind of stuff. Pray for me. I think we're going to be actually selling our Honda
No, we are not.
minivan, and
We are
we'll
not.
replace it with a Delica.
We
So
are not.
make me an offer on a good Honda minivan, or trade for a Delica. The other would be, you know, like a nice 1980s Volvo station wagon. By nice, I don't mean mint. I mean like, you know, it's been around.
Hmm.
And then there's nice vehicles too, but like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to update my truck at some point.
I'm open to a Delica, but not as my everyday driving vehicle.
You can use the truck. I'll use it. Solved.
No, it
Next
is not
question.
solved. Do you have any pets?
No.
What are we currently?
Oh, we are seriously considering a dog.
Yeah.
In the future.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to a couple questions in the comments. And Melissa Sedan asks, what instantly makes your day? And Pastor Dave, I saw your question. Adrian, I saw your comment about it. We will get to that.
Okay. What instantly makes my day better? Ooh, yeah, Laura. The right answer, but it's true. She's a sweetie. Yeah, I'm a bit of a thinker on stuff like that, so I'll have to keep pondering that. That's a great question, Melissa. I'm going to come back to that, maybe even in a future one, but instantly makes my day better. I feel like I need to think through moments about that, but I like that question. Dave's question was about our
current
lodging.
Lodging situation.
Okay, yeah. So we bought a home. We got possession. Yeah, it's a miracle.
So
Thank
happy,
you, God.
so thankful.
November 2nd, we get possession, but we need a bunch of painting work done inside, and we're probably going to get some professional help with the cutting in and edge work and all that, but we do need some help with rollers and just walls and all that. So if anybody wants to, you know, pitch in, we could use your help. And we do have some rental work to do downstairs, and so we've got some stuff in motion on that. So anyways, all that to say, we'll probably move in middle of the month, November, hopefully. Sometime in November we can actually get in and start living there. But right now, we live here.
CPC.
We're in the basement, and
We are having a blast.
it's going good. It's going good. There's a shower, there's a kitchen. We're ever aware of our need to update the kitchen because we use it. A whole cupboard almost fell off today. I mean, just like a shelving door piece. But anyway,
Because of COVID, all the Sunday school rooms are not in use right now, and so it does afford the space for our family to be in an area that is secluded from the rest of the auditorium and whatnot. So the kids are having a lot of fun, and we are having to clean up a lot. So if you ever happen to go down there and see the mess, please forgive us.
you shouldn't be there. It's
Oh
COVID.
yeah, it
What
is
are you
closed.
doing?
It's closed. So, but we heard that actually Pastor Dave Postal also lived in the church basement when he first moved here.
Yeah.
Before his family joined him. So we're just carrying on the trait. I guess that was a thing of old.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Quite common.
Live
the
on the
pastor.
church property in
Yeah.
the manse or the church. What do they call it? I was going to say
Parsonage.
partridge, but that's
Parsonage.
a pear tree in Christmas. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways, yeah, we're doing great here. We're very thankful.
Okay, well, why don't you
Fire away with a few others. That's fine.
Okay.
We'll wrap this up in just a couple minutes.
what's your favorite sport to watch?
Hockey, second NFL football. Don't mind if the CFL folds.
Where would you want to retire?
Here.
Yes. Don't know what that means. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Are you single?
No.
I printed this list randomly off the internet. Okay, so that's why I'm skipping a lot of them. I thought that was funny. Has your world ever been rocked?
Oh. What?
Yes.
What in the world is
Just
that?
say
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Ooh. Pet peeves. Do you have any pet peeves?
Okay, a four-way stop, and when people pretend that there's an extra lane on the right-hand side of a four-way stop, and they cozy up next to you, and they want to turn right, or it doesn't have to be next to you, it's just next to somebody else, and then it throws the sequence off for everybody. They're like, well, who's that, and where are they? And they feel like, oh, it's a right. I don't know that we need to do that. I don't see much of that here, but maybe I'm still getting over a busier setting that I lived in before. I'm not sure. But
Yeah,
do I
that's
have
it.
other pet
Do
peeves
you
that you
have
know?
other ones?
What else?
I don't know. I'm trying to.
I can think of yours with me.
Oh, what are they?
Okay. I know there's a place for shoes to belong, but maybe it's because of the length of my back, or maybe I'm just undisciplined and sloppy. I'm sorry, but I like to lean up against something when I'm taking my shoes off, and so that means the shoes could be anywhere in the house, that there's a good leaning spot.
So that means in the middle of a doorway, shoes will come off. Oh, that's weird. How come that's popping up?
Yeah.
The middle of a doorway, shoes may be taken off and stay there. Oh, I know what your pet peeve
I
is
do
for
too.
me. Yeah,
Socks.
socks.
When-
Mike has a shoe disease. I have a sock disease. Go ahead.
Well, I do my own laundry, and I'm very glad to do that. And
I'm very glad too.
when I do my laundry, a sock does not go into the laundry machine without its partner.
Right.
And then when it comes out, it gets flipped and folded together. It's like a married couple.
Right.
They belong together.
Okay.
And Laura just gathers and throws
All
it
the
in.
laundry.
And so,
No, but I separate the right loads and everything. But I
but
don't
there's
take.
times I'm grateful that I oh, she did some of my laundry. Thank you so much. And then I find this sock. Okay.
And one's still dirty.
Yeah. So I can't. Yeah. And then we have 12 feet in our family, and so there's a lot of laundry that happens, and so anyways we go through a lot of socks.
You know, you gotta work out the big things before you get married.
And bobby pins, so
I
these,
do have bobby pins.
she's in my office right now. This bobby pin could end up here sometime and just be left, and then she has to go buy new ones, and there's 800 somewhere around our house. But
that is not unique to me. That is, ladies, let me know if you agree, a universal female problem.
okay, any
with hair
ladies
ties
or
and hairpins.
men who want to speak in to this as well, I'm sure there's some ladies that have the decency to keep track of their bobby pins.
Well,
So if you
try.
do, just speak up and say, hey, I found a
They
great system.
disappear.
I understand they disappear, they're small, but
Totally. Agree. Yes, Joanne says that's right, and I think she's saying
Joanne's
it to me.
hair is too short for bobby pins right now. Hers
For
doesn't
kids
count.
and socks are definitely. Oh, okay. It gets more complicated when the kids' feet are the same size as the parents. Yeah, Lyndon.
Yeah.
Lyndon keeps stealing Mike's
It's terrible.
socks. Bobby pins are a problem, universal. It is decided by Melissa Sedan.
Okay,
So.
well,
We have 1 minute left,
Oh my
so
goodness,
why
okay.
don't you read a scripture and then we'll pray.
Luke chapter 3, verse 21. When all the people were being baptized, Jesus was baptized too. And as he was praying, heaven was opened, and the Holy Spirit descended on him in bodily form like a dove, and a voice from heaven spoke and said, "You are my son, whom I love. With you I'm well pleased." Simple thought is this. Jesus provides an example for us in life and ministry and devotion. I love how it's worded in Luke. As he prayed, heaven was open and the Spirit descended. You might, like me, at times underestimate the power of prayer and what's going on as we pray. And when you pray, we are in Christ, and so similar things occur. Heavens are opened, the Spirit is moving, even if we don't feel something. The Spirit works by faith, not by feelings, and sometimes we're blessed to experience a feeling, but many times we're not. And so just trust as you're praying, even your honest prayers, like the book of Psalms, where you're praying with anger or lament or whatever, God listens and His Spirit works through that. It's a healthy thing for us to be a people of prayer. And I believe God has great things ahead for us as a praying people.
Bill Crowder says, buy a magnetic necklace. It'll catch the bobby pins.
Hey, now,
You know that's going to be in my stocking
let's
now.
go into business. Is that a real thing? I mean, Bill and I, you can get the greater portion of that percentage, but I can help. Let's work on it. It's a good idea.
Oh, man.
Alrighty.
Well, thank you, Pastor Mike, for joining me here tonight.
Oh, okay.
We've had a great evening.
Loved, yes.
And I
Lovely.
hope you'll join in next week. And any last words?
Thanks so much. Do we have an outro?
We do, actually. Yes.
Stay tuned for the outro.
We do have an outro.
We just pray God's blessing over you in Jesus' name. And from that note to another.
Okay, also, we don't know how to turn off live videos.
This may
so
get
this
awkward
might
for a little
take a
bit.
second. Thank you for joining Live with Laur, and we will see you next week.
I'm not sure so.
Good night, everybody. That was good. That was great. I like that.